happening, everybody, and welcome back to a brand new vlog here. This is probably going to be the last vlog of the series, so if you've watched all the way through thus far, I really appreciate that. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope I've done a good job with this series, because didn't really have much planning for it, so I hope it's been enjoyable up to this point, and hopefully this episode is also good. But this morning we're here at the lovely Quaker Lake. I was going to say welcome back to Quaker Lake, but I didn't actually vlog the first full day I was here. I came here in the evening, and I decided not to vlog because I just wanted to kind of like, just enjoy being in the moment and focusing on the task at hand, if you will. But it was a beautiful sunset that night, and you guys may or may not have seen pictures of that already at this point. But when it came to deciding where to go this morning, right before I went to bed last night, I probably took a good 15-20 minutes just looking over my notes and looking at the map and thinking about what's going to be the best place to go, sort of all-purpose, right? Like if there's going to be good light, if there's going to be fog, if there's going to be like storms, right? We've got great access to some woodland here. We've got wide open views for big dramatic skies and things like that. And I figured this would be the best area given all those possibilities to come to, and it's also relatively close to the cabin. So with it being a back-to-back sunrise, kind of toast. Maybe you can tell, maybe you can't, but something a little easy for the last day. And I'm currently on my bike here. Well, I'm going to be on my bike in a second, taking this bike path down to a cool little section of hemlocks that are right along the shoreline of Quaker. Similar to some work I've done on the other side of the lake back in the winter. There are some similar scenes. It's been a long time since I've been down this road, this bike path, so hoping my memory serves me correct. But I'm pretty positive there's a little patch of hemlocks down there that I'd like to go pay a little visit. Also, there's a comp down here. I don't think I'll be going down to it today, but I found it back in the spring. I think I'll put that picture up on the screen now, just so you guys can see what I'm talking about. It's a cool little seasonal creek. Some trout lilies coming up, not flowering, unfortunately. I never could get them flowering, but still cool nonetheless. A scene that I'll probably revisit next spring, maybe. But now we're gonna get on our bike and head down to that spot I was talking about with those hemlocks. So very light breeze this morning. Mostly cloudy overhead, although it's mostly low cloud that has rolled in. We did have a brief moment of light earlier, and I did grab one maybe halfway decent photo. I'm not really sure how I feel about it right now. Definitely going to need some time to, see how I feel about the photo, right? Some time away from it. But with all that being said, let's make our way down to that area. So it took like no time at all to get down to the spot, since this was like all like a steep downhill to get here, which means it's gonna suck trying to get back up. I was hoping maybe I could go one morning without getting grossly, disgustingly sweaty, but I don't think that's gonna happen. This is the little section of hemlocks here. As you can see, it is literally a little section of hemlocks. So very clean understory, as is usually the case with these trees. Some deadwood down in there. Kind of want to go investigate that. So that is what we shall do. And I keep hearing rumbles of thunder off to the northeast, which is kind of getting my hopes up a little bit. But it sounds really far off. It's not like close thunder where it's like, whoo, holy shit, what was that kind of thing. But it is pretty far off. So it's not like, you know, in my head I keep thinking, oh, maybe I can get bolts, maybe I can get bolts. Because I still have yet to get a lightning storm of any kind over Quaker Lake. I've gotten a few good shots at Red House, but nothing here. This is actually a neat little scene here. I'm not going to lie to you. Kind of pointed out. This large hemlock here has seen better days. Yeah, this is just little broken tree action here. Big trunk. This really nice broken off piece, which has some nice movement to it. Has a nice little diagonal. And that tree in the background, right in the lake edge, is kind of placed like right in a good spot. And then that one leads down to those hemlocks down there, or another dead tree. So this is kind of nice. I might sit and ponder this one for a moment or two. And if I don't take a picture of it now, that's fine. I'm going to take a picture of it with my phone anyways, just so I have it as a potential composition for some point in the future. So I'm going to go ahead and try to frame this up real time. Trying to move left and right and see how the separation in the scene changes. Whether or not I want the whole trunk on the right here, if I just want to keep just part of it. Let's just go with something like this here. Yeah. Now, there is some interesting light play that you can have happen with photos like these on these lake banks, since they're east-west. So, I mean, if we had clear skies right now, ideally, that low-angle sunlight would be kind of painting the distant hillside, which you can see through the tree line a little bit, maybe lighting up some of the water there. And this is just in theory, although I have seen it happen one time with that spring photo I showed you guys earlier with all the trout lilies, where the water kind of starts to glow, starts to light up a little bit. But that was at sunset, I believe. So it's one thing if I want like a really dark background, I can, you know, wait for a day like this, or I can wait for sunset when the sun is, you know, over there and shining down on the water right there, making a very glowy type effect. I don't know how else to describe it, but if that water's super bright down there, golden light, so to speak, it would kind of give maybe a little bit of a dreamy effect here. Maybe cast some reflected light onto the scene. Maybe would be nice. Again, just kind of spitballing. And then, you know, maybe sunrise, if there were clear skies, that hillside over there would be kind of illuminated. I don't think it'd be any reflected light from that. But, yeah, now I'm just moving to the other side because I realize I probably should just move over to the other side of this thing before I walk away from it, like I was going to. And the only problem here is we get some power lines in the background, which is one of the flaws of this particular area, is there is a cabin loop not far from here, and it is electrified, so they do have power lines, which, I mean, it's not a big deal. Be easy enough to just move them out of the frame manually, or even clone them out, but I don't want to do that. I'm kind of lazy, so yeah, now that I see it from this angle, kind of like it a little bit better. That huge trunk kind of leaning over there. The only thing is here is you don't really have any context on this side of the trunk that shows that this piece broke off from it like we do on the other side. But the angle is nice. It's almost nicer just because the fallen branch goes from left to right as opposed from right to left. So I'm really just going to frame it up here. And keep in mind, this is in 3x4. Not too bad, honestly. Not too bad at all. So as much as I like the angle of this composition, from the other side, the really, really bright highlights from the lake in the background are not helping the photo right now, especially with the light that we have. We have kind of gray clouds overhead, and that's reflecting in the water, making it this is kind of like really just bright, distracting, not really pleasing light in the background. That's just like this really, really super bright highlights. So honestly, I'd rather just not even bother with it from that side anyways, and kind of just go with it from this way. Because here I've got nice separation between all the trunks, and I've got minimal of those, you know, really, really bright highlights kind of sneaking their way through the canopy, and I don't have any of the lake in the background either. So I think this right here is probably going to be the best that I can get. So that is what I'm going to set up for. Just got to make sure that I stand in the exact right spot, because everything is separated beautifully when I stand in the right spot. So just subtle little camera movements to the left and to the right. And this big hemlock trunk is placed right on the left third. I don't want to be super wide here. Make sure the polarizer is polarizing. Alright, so we're going to lock in here. 5-second self-timer, F11. Who knows if I'll like this photo that much in a few days or weeks, but it's basically just a concept at this point. And make sure I'm polarized there. Yeah, basically just a concept composition to come back to. I think this could look great in the fog, spoiler alert. A woodland photo looking good in the fog, right? Who would have thought? Maybe better light, the sun would peek through. I just don't think the sun's gonna peek through. Well, actually I see some dappled sunlight coming across the hill over there. So maybe I'll just stand here and wait a second. Maybe we'll get some good highlights that'll kind of add a little bit more depth to this scene. I see the light rolling right at the crest of the hill over there. Honestly, a little bit of rain too would be good for this, I think. A little bit of rain would really darken the bark of these trunks, helping them to stand out even further. And this also would be a pretty great composition in the wintertime. Fresh blanket of snow. These hemlock trees stand out like you wouldn't believe. Yeah, I have some photos that I can show that kind of illustrate that point. And I mean, it's really awesome. There is some dappled. You can see that top of the hill is illuminated over there. It ain't moving like dappled light normally does, so. Alright, well, I could stand here and wait for some dappled, or I could just move on. And before I do that, actually, I think I'm going to zoom in a little bit to exclude the trunk on the right side. Alright, I'm not sure if this is really going to make it look all that better, but we'll try it without the trunk on the right. Just take a few frames just to make sure we've got a solid exposure. And I think that ought to do it. Alright, I think that's all good. I'm going to pack the camera up, get back on the bike, and keep heading down to the other end of the lake. So I've arrived at the Quaker Lake beach house on the northern part of the lake. Yeah, this area really isn't super photogenic. I just came down here to finish the bike path, but a lot of man-made things here and freshly manicured lawns. Not really my speed, as you're all probably aware, but that bike path was really fun coming down, and I gotta tell you, it is going to absolutely suck going back up it. I mean, there's gonna be a few little downhills where I can catch my breath, but like the majority of that, especially the last part, getting back to where I parked, oh, it's gonna be fun. I'm not in as good a shape I used to be. Maybe it's a sign that I ought to try to get back into shape, especially when it comes to riding a bike. I mean, before this trip, I haven't ridden this mountain bike in probably 12 plus years, so feels good to be riding it again though, that's for sure. But didn't really see any other, well, there was actually one subject I saw after we left the little hemlock barren, whatever you want to call it. It's just a big gnarly oak that was hanging over the lake, and just some hillside set against it. I think it's a pretty much untouched section of hillside, as in like there's no cutouts like there are on some parts of Quaker where there's like open fields. So if it looks as clear as it did when I rode by, I may quickly stop for a cell phone photo. That's probably it. Because I feel like I could just save that for the fall, right? A subject to come back to for the fall. And then I think that'll probably be it for the morning, unless something super spectacular happens on the way back or when I get back. And then I think we're going to be taking the bikes over to Red House Lake later to do the bike path there. I got a checklist of things that I wanted to do before I leave, and riding both bike paths to completion was definitely on the list. So I got to hit Red House Lake. We'll take the bikes over there, and then sunset, I kind of want to be somewhere new. Maybe the Red Jacket Trail we could hike on. It's a short trail. It's pretty steep, but I've never done it, so I kind of want to check it out, just so I can check off some boxes on this trip. I know I want to do a lot of exploring, but it's also a vacation, not just a strict photo trip, or else I would have done sunrise every morning. But I did not have the stamina for that, really. Yeah, no, if that oak on the way back really catches my eye, and maybe the sunlight, now the sunlight's kind of coming out a bit, those really low dark clouds, I keep hearing that thunder. Those dark low clouds are kind of gone. Now we have some like high wispy clouds, so if it really catches my attention, I feel like I want to take a picture, I will. Especially if the lake water is like really reflecting blue with that green, I think it could look really sharp. Funny thing is my ride, aka my dad, he is gone MIA. He should be parked down there by that other car, but he's not here. He said he had to run back to the cabin real quick to grab his sunglasses, so while I wait for him to get back, I got a little time lapse going, so hopefully that turns out pretty well. We got some pretty dramatic skies here. A lot of thunderheads moving in over there. Quite gorgeous, actually, so enjoy this little time lapse. We are now back at the cabin here. As you saw, cooked up a little breakfast, made some egg sausage and pancakes. It was delicious, but gotta go do the dishes over at the little wash area over there, and then when I get back, it's gonna be time to transfer over some photos and some footage from this morning and from last night. Yeah, so I gotta do a better job at staying on top of it firsthand, but gonna get caught up, transfer the audio over, everything. Yeah. And then I kind of have a vague idea of what I'm doing for the evening as far as photo goes. Probably won't be a whole lot though. Kind of just winding down the trip here, just enjoying the actual trip itself and not worrying about photography and things like that. So, but if there's any photo stuff happening later, which I believe there should be, of course I'll bring you guys along for the ride. But absolutely gorgeous morning. I got this new hat the other day. I quite like it. I don't know if it's better than the bucket hat, but they didn't have bucket hats. So if they had a bucket hat, I would have got it hands down. If anybody working for the park sees this, you guys should get some Allegany State Park bucket hats. I'd definitely buy one. Good evening, everybody. We are here on the northern shores of Quaker Lake. Rather unexpectedly, this is not where I was expecting to be this afternoon for photos. But my dad was telling me about how if you're listening to the radio and you can hear interference caused by lightning, and he thought he might have heard that. And you know, throughout the day I've been hearing rumbles of thunder. So just a little while ago we headed outside of the park, just north of here, right near the 86. The entrance to the Quaker area, and I got to look at the radar, and looks like there's a strong line of thunderstorms on their way, just passing Jamestown as we got to check them, and should be here around 5 to 5:30. So we're gonna set up. I'm just gonna send it, and maybe we'll get lucky with a few stray bolts. I've never captured a thunderstorm over this lake, so I'm kind of hoping that's what we get. This would be one hell of a way to end the trip if we can get some bolts. I'm trying to manage my expectations. If we don't get anything and the storms pass, still going to try to go for that bike ride around Red House Lake. And yeah, fingers crossed. Like I said, hopefully we get something. The one thing that is a little tricky is that the angle of the storm, ideally would be coming in from down there, down on that end of the lake, but it's kind of coming in from over there. So I'm trying to angle it as best I can, get over on the hillside over there behind me, that little patch of grass, that bank, and point the camera that way and just see what we get, right? Never know with this kind of stuff. It's kind of a coin flip sometimes. I'm going to use an ND filter since it's still about middle of the day. Try to get a long enough exposure as possible, get some streaky clouds, smooth out the water, and yeah, not much else we can do. Keep our fingers crossed and hopefully we get something. All right, so just had to wade through a second bout of rain, and I'm just firing off exposures right now. I mean, no bolts just yet, but these skies are really, really dramatic, and I'm kind of liking the way this very simple composition looks on the back of my camera. I'm just firing off 200 frames right now, preemptively, and I'm just looking at the way the clouds are moving in, and they're almost moving directly sort of across the lake from my right to my left, which isn't the greatest position for the storm. Maybe I should move a bit further to the left and point more to the right. I mean, it's looking pretty dark, almost right overhead. But I've only heard just a couple rumbles, nothing really close. Nothing that like shakes the ground. So I'm just gonna hang out here. I'm shooting at f11 ISO 64, getting about 1/15. The only reason I don't want to throw the ND filter on is because it's kind of a pain in the ass to keep dry. That's really about it. And it's also a pain in the ass to put on. And speaking of keeping dry, using an umbrella to kind of protect the camera. So Well, I probably could just throw a towel over it. So, because doing this is kind of ridiculous. It looks a little ridiculous as well. I'm glad there's a little break in the storm so I can at least get my camera out, and there's some more rumbles off to my right there, off to the west. Even more now. And here comes the rain again. So this is my current setup here. The storm wasn't as nice as the last one I photographed last year. Sun's coming in at a weird angle, and sometimes you gotta make things work however you can make them work. So tripod is set up right here in the passenger seat. I did see a flash. I'm not sure if it was happening during the exposure or not. I haven't looked to check yet, but fingers crossed. Maybe we got something. If not, the lighting just a little while ago looked kind of crazy down there, so if anything, that could potentially work as a shot on the side. So. Alright, well, the thunderstorm has passed us by, and, well, I didn't capture any lightning bolts, unfortunately. I did capture some incredible drama. Like lots of very dramatic skies and lighting, and I think some of those photos could work quite well, honestly. Again, if no bolts, it is what it is. So, we live to chase another day. But all that storm chasing has definitely worked up quite an appetite. So the next thing to do would probably be, you know, maybe get some food. I was gonna have a campfire tonight too, but we'll see how if this rain stops anytime soon. We might still be able to do that. All right, so I'm now back at the cabin, just enjoying the reasonable temperature that we have now. It's like in the high 60s, mid 60s. Feels really, really good just to be outside in these temperatures after how unbearably hot and humid it has been pretty much the entire time I've been here. Kind of lost the dice roll on the temperature side of things. Of course, conditions have been great this whole week, but temperature-wise, definitely could have been at least 10 degrees cooler. So I'm definitely going to sit out here for a little bit and enjoy these nice cool temperatures. And like I said earlier, despite not getting any bolts, I think the silver lining is that some of the photos I did just get are very, very dramatic, stormy, moody photos, the likes of which I don't really have from that view of Quaker Lake, so I'll take it. And there will always be other thunderstorms to chase in the future. And of course, we still have waterspout season to look forward to come August and September. But I think the only thing to do now is to, again, relax out here, enjoy the sounds of the rain and the cool air, and then make some dinner. And hopefully, maybe, if the rain stops, maybe we can get a fire going, because I'd still like to do that. I've yet to start one fire, just because it's been so hot. Everybody else has been starting fires all around the trail here. You can see there's remnants of a fire that was over there. I mean, a lot of fires on this trail I've been seeing, and I haven't started a single one because why do I want to sit next to a hot flame when it's 90 degrees and humid? Tonight would be a perfect night for it, so fingers crossed this rain lets up soon so we can do that. But photo-wise, unless the skies open up in the next hour, probably won't go out and take any more photos. And this might be some of the last photos I've just taken for the trip just now at the lake. So if it is, then this is going to be the end of the series. And I thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. It was fun making this and documenting everything that happened. And as I sit here, I am extremely eager to get back, edit not only this series, but edit the photos I took, and probably print some of them, because some of them are definitely going to be print worthy. That's for sure. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys around.